Alright team, welcome back to another video. So this week I put up a post over on Instagram talking about different types of goalkeeper training, whether I'm for them or against them, but giving zero context. And in this video I thought I'd give some context and go through some do's and don'ts from my opinion about goalkeeper training.
How I feel about certain design choices with little to no explanation. Yes. Yes. Absolutely not. For me, this one's 50-50. 100% no. Yes, and I don't care that it's impractical. I hate these. I think I might hate this even more. Yes, of course. No. Yes, I've grown really fond of this. Surprisingly, I actually like this.
Now, it's fair to say, us goalies, we do have a goalkeepers union. We look out for each other. But one contentious point within goalkeeping is goalkeeper training. Everyone has their own thoughts, their own theories on the best type of goalkeeper training, what you should and shouldn't be doing. And I get quite a lot of questions all the time, especially after stuff like that, asking what should I be training to work on this? How should I be training to be the best that I can be? And although that post was a little bit of fun, I don't like those blanket statements about what is good and what is bad. There's always context. So that's why I thought it was important to give a little bit of context, a little bit of my personal experience, having played in 4 different countries across over 10, 15 years, about what has helped me and what hasn't helped me from a goalkeeper training point of view. And in that short video, I said that there were some areas of goalkeeper training that I liked, including game-specific shot stopping, distribution training, plyometrics, training with the team, strength and conditioning, and crosses and high ball drills. But I also said that there were some areas of goalkeeper training that I did not like, which included unrealistic top corner saves, rolling under or diving over ropes, resistance band dives, goalkeeper endurance drills, and goalie wars. I know that last one may upset some people, but bear with me, I will tell you why. There was one area which I put as a 50-50, which was training in the snow, but that's just a little bit of fun. Who doesn't love diving in the snow? But I'm going to go through that list, tell you why it landed on whichever side it did, and most importantly, add that context. So let's start with the do's. So, game-specific shot stopping. Very, very easy one. We all love saving shots, that's why we're in goal. It's our favourite thing to do. What you find though, as you progress with your training, away from just kicking around in the park with your mates or in the garden, whatever, is if you're actually trying to improve your shot stopping, you actually need to make that drill applicable to what you receive in a game. There's no point facing 100 shots from the edge of the D straight on and then going into a game and not being ready for all the different varieties of shots that you might face. So in my goalkeeper training, what I like to do and what I like to do with my goalkeeper coach is see if we can set up drills which mimic situations that I'll face within a game. So for example, you might have done your warm-up, you might have done your volleys, your half volleys, whatever you do. But for me, once I'm progressing into a drill, I like the strikes that I receive to be off the floor. It's very rare that I will face a clean volley straight to my face in a game. Don't get me wrong, it has its place, it's great for a warm-up, it's great to get your hands going. But for shot stopping drills, I want to be facing realistic shots, which means a ball off the floor, it means the server might take a touch before he hits it, he might try and curl it, he might hit it with a knuckleball. Different types of strikes, right foot, left foot, all these different things that you'll face in a game. You might obstruct the goalkeeper's view, he might have to look round things, look through people, all these different variations that you can add in to make shot stopping drills more game realistic. That's something that I think is extremely important. Next up, distribution training. Very broad, I know, but especially in today's game, extremely important. We've got to be good with our feet. Not just being good with your feet, can you be good with both feet? Playing different ranges of passes with your right foot, with your left foot. That might be short 5-metre passes to your centre back, or that might be longer 20, 30, 40-metre passes to your midfield or your forward line. So I'll try and design drills with my goalkeeper coach where we're identifying different spaces, we're resisting pressure from attackers. Again, distribution training, but with that game-specific element. That's something that I think is key to include in my training program as a goalkeeper. Next on the list, plyometrics. Now this is something a little bit different. Not so much football related, more on the physical side of things. A few of you will have heard me go on about plyometrics quite a lot. But plyometrics are bodyweight drills like bounding, skipping, jumping, sprinting, all designed to help you to improve your sprint speed, your jump height, your elasticity, and your general spring as a goalkeeper. Whether you're 6'6" or 5'9", as a goalkeeper, you need to be very reactive in a physical sense. You need to be able to spring, get high, get low, and do that in a very quick reaction time. Plyometric drills are designed to help with that, and a proper plyometric program can be really beneficial to a goalkeeper looking to develop that aspect of his game, and it's something that I still include within my training. Next up, training with the team. Easy one. Simple. It's got to be done. It's got to be in your training program. You can't just train alone as a goalkeeper. You're in a team sport. You need to build that relationship with that team. Whether that's helping that team in possession, whether that's how you defend out of possession, your communication, your experience in facing game situations, how you cover and defend the goal as a unit with your defenders, all these different elements which are key to be able to perform on a match day and that need to be developed in training with your teammates around you. That's something that you can initially discuss with a goalkeeper coach or your teammates if you don't have one, but also with the manager in general. How can you as a goalkeeper best help the team, and how can you work on that role in the week? Next up, strength and conditioning. Like plyometrics, this is something that's a little bit separate to the pitch, but can have massive benefits if you do it properly. We're realizing more and more in the modern game that goalkeepers are a different type of athlete to outfield players. You might not need that endurance element as much, you might not do as much running, but you do need to be extremely powerful, flexible, strong, explosive, and all those elements can be covered with a good strength and conditioning program. Knowing what you're doing in the gym and working hard and improving your physical performance can pay off massive dividends with your on-pitch performance too. So that's something which I feel is extremely important in modern day goalkeeper training. And finally, on the do's list, we've got crosses and high ball drills. Something I get a lot of questions about, and something which I think is probably one of the most difficult areas of goalkeeping. Working on crosses is key. Developing your timing, your reading of situations, but also your confidence, your physical ability to jump and take the ball, your ability to withstand challenges, and to put that all together under pressure is extremely difficult. So something that you need in your goalkeeper training is repetitions of crosses and different drills to mimic game day situations again. It's one of the most difficult areas of the position, but if you nail it in training, work hard on it there, it can pay off massively in games. Now, before we go on to the don'ts, I want to say that there are plenty of videos on this channel which go through those different areas of goalkeeping that I've mentioned. Videos which can show you different drills that you can use in your training. Videos which show if you're on your own and you don't have a goalkeeper coach, how you can still work on those aspects of your game. And alongside those videos, we also have the goalkeeper training programs which are available on the website. We have a goalkeeper distribution program, a goalkeeper plyometrics program, and a goalkeeper strength program. All three of them built to be specific to you as a goalkeeper that you can follow by yourself to improve those aspects of your game. So make sure you follow the link down below and go and have a look at them as well. Now, the contentious bit, the don'ts. These are the areas of goalkeeper training which I feel don't have as much value and probably shouldn't be focused on as much. And again, this is my personal opinion from my training and from my experience. Now, the only caveat in this list is the goalkeeper endurance drills. I'm going to put that in there. The only reason I put that as a don't is because we all hate it. We don't like doing endurance drills. But what I will say is it should be in the do list. It's a very important aspect of your goalkeeper training. And for me personally, it's something which has benefited me massively. The goalkeeper endurance drills that I've done with Scott Healy growing up that you've seen in videos, and also that I've done with other coaches, have been massive. And there's something which has actually separated me from other goalkeepers. Being able to work at high intensity for a long period of time is only done when you put yourself through those horrid drills. So as much as we hate them, it's got to be in there. So we're going to move that from the don't into the do. Next up, unrealistic top corner saves. It's got to be said, there's a very important differentiation on this. There are lots of dramatic top corner saves all over social media as goalkeepers. We've all seen it. That has its place. It's entertaining. It's really cool to see. It's very impressive. But if you're trying to improve as a goalkeeper and you're only doing dramatic top corner saves, you're not going to be getting any better. Sure, they have their place, but it's less than 1% of your game. That's not something that you should be focusing on and spending all your time doing. It might look good on camera, but if you're only working on that, you're going to struggle in the match day. Next up, and my personal nemesis, rolling under or diving over ropes. This is an area of goalkeeper training that I absolutely hate. Not as prominent in the UK or in Sweden when I've been there, but it was something that we did a lot in Spain, and it's something I just can't get my head around. Okay, maybe you're adding a little bit of disorientation from rolling under, trying to readjust after not quite knowing where you are in the box. That might happen in a game, but rolling under or diving over ropes is not applicable to how you move as a goalkeeper. I can't remember the last time I rolled on the pitch before making a save, and I can't remember the last time that I tried to make my dive go up and over instead of pushing through. And I feel like diving over ropes causes people to dive the wrong way. I get the concept, they're trying to make you dive higher, but the way that I dive, and that I've found to be the most efficient way of diving, is pushing through that front leg and driving up into the dive, almost taking it on a diagonal line. If you're coaching people to dive over a height, that's not going to be the most efficient movement to get to that point to make the save. And if anything, and I've experienced this, you're more prone to injuries. You're coming up and down from a great height rather than pushing through. And if you land on that wrong, be on your shoulder, on your hip, you could be in a lot of trouble. So for me, I personally hate diving over ropes or seeing people be told to dive over ropes. I've tried it, I've experienced it, but from now, it's not something that I'd want to be doing in my training. Now, next up, resistance band drills. This one's a little bit of a tough one because I could argue either way. First of all, I understand the concept. Adding a resistance band adds a little bit more resistance to the work that you're doing. And theoretically, if you can do it with that resistance, when you take that away, it should be easier and should help you to increase your power, your spring, especially if you're working on dives or high balls. I have done this type of training before. Again, it was one which was pretty popular over in Spain when I was training there. And I think it can be effective if you use it like you would a squat with a standing jump in the gym. Having a low number of reps with the resistance and then transferring to the reps without the resistance so that you can feel that difference. Improving that power and that push. I think when it becomes a problem is when you use it too much and you start to develop bad habits as a result of that resistance. So for example, in my experience, when I was using the resistance band, if the reps were getting above 5 towards 10, 15 reps, your body's starting to get tired, the technique of your dive and the high ball falls apart. You're just giving everything that you have to try and get off the floor as opposed to focusing on your footwork, your push, your technique of the dive, and then ultimately holding the ball. So with this one, I can see it being argued either way. What I would say is effective if you use it in the right way for a short amount of time to accentuate your performance in the correct technique. So your technique on a dive or a high ball has to be spot on, and if a resistance band can help with that, great, but if it hinders it, get rid of it. And the final one, and I know this is going to break some hearts, Goalie Wars. It's a no from me. If you're just doing it for fun, go for it. It is a really fun game. It's a great one to do. But from a technical drill, it's just not something that I can get behind. Singles or doubles, just firing balls at each other from a 12, 18 meter range. Like I say, great fun if you're having a mess around, but if you're trying to train, trying to improve, there's not much that I can take from Goalie Wars and claim to be game specific. Great fun, go for it if you're trying to have some fun. But in terms of technical improvements, it's not in my training. But that's it. Some of my do's and don'ts of goalkeeper training. As I say, I don't like those blanket statements, but I hope that brought some context. This week's patron of the week is Magnus Tegan. Magnus, thanks for supporting us. Thanks for supporting the channel. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without patrons like yourself, so a massive, massive thank you. And that's it, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we will see you next week for the next video, as always. Look after yourselves. Have a great week. Keep chasing improvement. And I'll speak to you in a bit.